Hey, good morning, everyone. It's John over at UFOs Worldwide. Today's March 13th, 2021. Wherever you're tuning in from, I welcome you in all across the world. Last night was crazy, y'all. I had a UFO encounter with my lady, and I uploaded it already, and I've gotten maybe 14 likes or something like that, and one downvote. So funny that people downvote people's authentic experiences, but what are you gonna do? That's life. I've got this capture last night where these two balls show up and they're over here, and I'm just sitting back over here having a smoke with my lady, enjoying a drink. And there's lots of stars happening. And so anyway, I noticed over here a dot, a nice big star, super bright, and then there's a little one just above it. And I even pointed it out to my lady. I said, wow, look at that. Like, I've never seen that in the sky over there. Lo and behold, we just continued chatting. And the next thing you know, when I look back up, this object is about here. And it's moved quite a bit. And that's not normal for a star. I thought maybe this is like two satellites flying together. So I had to timestamp it, and I just kind of left it last night, but I'm going to look at it this morning. This is my page. Please subscribe if you are watching this video and you like what I do. If you're into UFOs, man, I'm going to be covering this stuff until I'm old and gray. I promise you that. And I'm never going to treat you like a chump. I'm always going to be respectful and loving. And that's very rare to find in this day and age. So here's the video, and it's 11 hours ago. And so I went to go check the time, because the time around the time when I saw this object was around 10:52. So I did a little research. Like, this is where I live, and like way in here, way in here, right? Like, this is around where I live, just this little area right here. And this object was coming from over here, and it was flying towards me to come over my head. And we can see here that at the time that this happened, there was a satellite. But we can see it's way the hell over here at that time. So that's quite an interesting thing, that these are not satellites. They are not picked up by my satellite tracker. So that kind of adds to the mystery of this object here. So what I've done is I've given you a daytime this morning. I took a little bit of a video here, short video, and I'm just going to leave it here so you've got the full perspective. You can see that I'm standing somewhere around here capturing this object, and I'm video recording it. Now, my camera's not the greatest. It's a Samsung whatever, and that's the way it goes sometimes. But this object right here was crazy. Like, this ball was super light, and this was like a little tiny dot when I saw it. And as I said, as I noticed that it moved so far, I started filming it. I got up, I turned on the video screen capture, I pulled up the camera on the phone, and I started basically talking about what I'm seeing. And I was just tripping. I couldn't believe it. Oh, that's not the one I want to increase. This is the one I'm going to increase right here a little bit more. Perfect. You can faintly make things out. You can't really make it out the greatest. That's sometimes the reality of a UFO capture, right? But these things are flying towards me, and I'm getting excited because I know they're going to do a flyby. Like, they're literally going to come up over my head. And unfortunately, they don't. If you've already watched the video, you'll know that these objects actually disappear. And that in itself is a mystery to me. That's what makes this an amazing capture to me, is that these objects disappear. The little one at the top first, there it goes. Oh, no, it's not gone yet. I'm just going through frame by frame here. Man, I was super pumped last night. I couldn't fall asleep. Like, I was just going crazy in my head. especially for me. Like this is something I do every single day. I'm looking at UFO videos. I'm watching people's UFO videos. I'm talking to people about their UFO experiences. I'm watching their videos. I'm looking at their photos that they're sharing. And I have a lot of people talking to me every single day about this kind of stuff. So when I get an authentic experience, as I often have at least a couple times a year, I get really pumped, you know? I love this kind of stuff. I'd love these guys to come down and sit down at my dinner table and say, "Hey, what's up, John? Let's talk about life. Let's talk about life in the galaxy." I'd love to hear some stories from whoever's flying these things about whatever's going on beyond our rock, you know? So there's where I believe the objects disappeared, and we have this other one. Now you can see it almost seems like it's rotating, but it's hard to tell because it's so far away, right? It's being picked up at nighttime. It's a lousy camera, and you know, that's what happens sometimes when it comes down to these captures. And then it just completely disappeared. So just to give you some perspective, I seen it here. I looked away for about a minute. It was up here. I started capturing it, and it got to about here, and it was flying in my direction, and it probably would have come over my house here. Not that you can see it, but it disappeared. And that's the long and the short, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great weekend, whatever you're up to. And yeah, stay tuned. More to come, as always. Take it easy. All right, so we noticed something earlier. It was like two lights, and they look like stars. It was a trip.
Yep, they're a foot above the star to the right now.
And they're by, like, they're both by or over by, like, right above some trees, and we were like, wow, that's pretty fucking cool. Like, there's a big bright star, and then there's a little star right above it. And then so we have our smoke, and we're chatting along, and then we look back up like maybe a minute later, and they moved like maybe like 3 feet from where we originally saw them.
One's about to go, it's gone.
And yeah, this is John over at UFOs Worldwide, showing you a real UFO, one on top of the other.